we sit down, we go out throughout the day, and then we sit down to dinner in these more westernized countries, and dinner is like meat.
Absolutely.
Right?
Just a big thing of steak.
Yeah,
right
it's just a
Bam.
huge thing. Omega-6 is arachidonic acid. So it is an essential fatty acid. We do need it. But all of the omegas in our body need to be balanced, just like everything in life. That's what we should have entitled this podcast for the new year, is balance.
Welcome everybody to the Healthy Habit Podcast. On today's episode, we're talking with Carrie G. Pattison, MSOM and LAC, and Carrie's a practicing herbalist, licensed acupuncturist, and trained home birth midwife. Carrie's a graduate of the NUNM, the National University of Natural Medicine. She serves as national educator for natural factors, which we'll be discussing today, and she's an adjunct professor of herbal studies at Huntington University of Health Sciences. Carrie's originally from rural Alaska, and her love for travel and social justice issues in the developing world led her to undergraduate degrees focused on global development and relief, and fuels her lifelong passion for health and healing. We've been talking with Carrie for 2+ years now on Healthy Habit Radio, so
yeah, we're old friends.
Our first episode on the podcast platform. Carrie, welcome.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, I think this is really cool for everybody. You know, they've heard our voices all along. Yes. Now they get to see a little bit more of our personalities.
Right.
And really dive into some good discussion. So excited for this new year and new opportunities with Healthy Habit.
Our viewers and listeners are going to be blessed having you on because you're an awesome educator, Carrie, and you bring home the points, and we stay up to date with the research. And I just love Natural Factors as a company. No, it's not just because I'm Canadian.
Yeah, right.
Tell us, we're talking today, New Year, New You. Set the stage for us on what we'll be discussing here for the next 25 minutes.
Well, I think that, this is the opportunity that everybody has right now to think about, I'm going into this new year. I saw a statistic the other day that was talking about New Year's resolutions, and it was shocking how many people I don't even do that anymore. Like, it's not worth it. But, I feel really strongly about this is a good time to reset and think about, okay, we just left the slog of the holidays. Where's my stress level going to be for the new year? Things like that. So it's a great opportunity to step back and take a look at some really, I think, foundational changes that we can make. I don't think that anybody needs to immediately be like, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because that's where it gets overwhelming and we lose it. So just some simple strategies that we can incorporate into our lives to really empower ourselves to live a healthy lifestyle. And a lot of it is involved with just diet, food as medicine, right? Basics.
Right. Absolutely. And by the way, NUNM is a naturopathic medical college as well. They offer the acupuncture training there and nutrition studies, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think there's a master's in nutrition there now. I think there's a master's in Ayurveda.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of everything.
I mentioned that because I'm a graduate of Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine. So we're in the same type of board.
So it has a new name though now, right?
Right. Now it's Sonoran University.
Sonoran University, yeah. And then I teach for Huntington University, which they have certificates all the way up to doctorals, which I'm actually getting a doctorate in integrative healthcare right now from them. So it's fun to be on both sides, student and teacher. And that one is nutrition focused. So, it is really amazing to think about. I think a lot of people consider like dietitians to be helpful resources for nutrition. Yeah. But I've actually never seen that in real life be a reality. Most of the time I'm like, oh, bad advice.
Yeah.
So finding somebody who actually has, those deep nutrition roots, which this is part of, I did Chinese dietetics and Western dietetics. You did all of that as well. We see it from a lot of different perspectives.
Absolutely, Carrie. So this is our first time having Natural Factors on this platform. Tell us about the company. Why do you continue to be involved with Natural Factors, and you love the company? We all love them too. Great partners of ours here at Healthy Habit Health Foods. Tell us about Natural Factors as a company.
I am fairly new to Natural Factors,
Okay.
I think, considering the longevity of my coworkers. And this is something that's very unique in that I work with people that have been at the company for 15, 20, 25 years. Like, this is really impressive. I've been with them. It'll be 4 years in May. And we are, as you kind of joked about earlier, originally a Canadian company. So if
Yeah.
you go up to Canada, Natural Factors is everywhere. We are here in the United States as a supplement manufacturer. And so when people think about us, they might think about Canada. And that's one of the things that I really like to champion about us, is the fact that we do have, we manufacture here in the United States, which is really fun. We can talk about that in a second. We do
Okay.
stuff in Australia as well. So we're really global. But Canada, Health Canada, has some really unique regulations associated to supplements, i.e., Health Canada, their version of the FDA, regulates supplements the same that they regulate pharmaceuticals. So when we talk about the need for studies, the FTC, the FDA, they just released some new guidelines for supplement companies, and a lot of it is around clinical research. And it's saying, you cannot say that your supplement works if the study was done in a petri dish. Right? We want to see human clinical studies. We want to know that these things are actually happening in a body and we're seeing these positive results. So I love the fact that we are that Canadian company. We are regulated in that way. We have that efficacy. We have that safety associated with that as well. But like I said, we do manufacture down here in the United States as too. We're in Monroe, Washington, just outside of Seattle is our US headquarters. And it's kind of amazing. Like, we're a big deal. When I go up there, we have almost 300 employees. So it's like 24/7 shifts. And it's so much fun to watch all of the machines. Like, if somebody comes into Healthy Habit and they buy our melatonin, well, it's this little tablet, but it starts with manufacturing the powder, and then the powder goes through these big machines and it's pressed into tablets. Like, there's so much that's happening behind the scenes that I just think is fascinating. So, we have this like structure of being this kind of global manufacturing company, but we're a global manufacturing company that has a really, really open and joyous heart. So we are still owned by the same guy who started us, Roland Gaylor. And, so that's another unique thing, is I always tell people, like, you can actually Google, this might be fun to bring up at some point in time and show listeners and watchers, but you can Google who owns my supplement company. And then there's these really cool charts that actually show all the supplement companies going back to, just a handful of big corporate Wall Street owners. So, at that point in time, it's like, make money for shareholders, make money, make money, make money, right? So we have this thing where we can have our heart in it. So I think about, we've created some really unique things. We had this immune kit for a while that was, I think we were literally making no money. We might've been losing money on it, but Roland's heart was making sure that people are able to afford supplements that have the potency levels that we need, the quality that we need. And as we've talked about in the past, and we'll talk about in future episodes, we have a whole line of products where our focus is ingredients that come directly from our own farms. So that's another thing. You can look and see who owns companies. But I always like to talk about, my running joke is that we have over 2,000 acres of organic regenerative farmland. We don't have 2,000 people sitting in our marketing department making up some language because we're actually out in the fields doing the farming. So, you can look at these gorgeous photos of stock imagery of farms and things like that and go, oh, isn't this lovely? And then come to find out, like, no, they don't own the farms. They're sourcing something from, this wherever it's coming from in China. And we're doing it. We're doing it to make sure that everybody can live the best life that they possibly can. And especially going into this new year, it's those little things. we keep, right? I know you do too. We keep
Yeah.
seeing new studies and articles and things pop up about some of these toxins and chemicals that are just pervasive in our environment. You know, they're finding, as a midwife, this was something that I was thought was fascinating, is that they look at the toxin load in the placenta of like maybe an 18-year-old that had just given birth. And here's this 18-year-old who right now, right, is still in her body, has chemicals that were banned 50 years ago. Like they're still prevalent in our environment. So that's another big thing for me, is knowing that not only with the Health Canada, we have multiple levels of quality control. We actually test 4 different stages in-house. We've also partnered with ISURA, which is a third-party not-for-profit, and they're a laboratory up in Vancouver, BC, that they're testing for up to 800 potential contaminants in all of our products. It's by far the highest standards that you can find. So making sure, we talk a lot about glyphosate, and now phthalates are big things, or microplastics. Isn't it like we ingest a credit card size amount of plastic a week or something? That's just disgusting.
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah. So knowing that we're testing for all of these things is, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Absolutely. Carrie, one of our, it's that time of year, right? People are trying to reset their health after the holidays. Oftentimes involves starting a new diet. Like you said, now the gyms are packed. Gym memberships go like this in January. And if you're listening
and then
on Spotify,
in October, people realize they've been paying for it.
Hey, at least they're getting in there, right?
I know. Well, and you think about, you in Phoenix, you probably don't need to go to the gym. Well, you probably do certain times of the year when you can't go outside, but
right.
Here
we have the opposite problem here. Here, the opposite problem, it gets too hot.
Yes,
so you have
exactly.
to go to the gym because it's too hot to do stuff outside.
Yeah. Whereas here, our problem is that, you have to spend half an hour loading on the rain gear to go out.
And where are you calling from, since we haven't mentioned that?
Yeah, I'm in Southwest Washington. So actually I'm in the Columbia River Gorge, just outside of Portland, Oregon.
Lots of rain.
Lots of rain. I love it. I grew up in the rainforest in Alaska. So rain is good for me.
One of our topics we had on the schedule for today, Carrie, is excess protein consumption, which can lead to omega balances. And I want to do a quick screen share. Obviously, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you won't be able to see this. Do you see this, Carrie?
I do. I see that.
Okay, so I want to pull this is one of my favorite charts to actually share. Oh, it's a little blurry here, but for protein daily per capita protein intake across the world, you can see it's a little blurry, but hey, we'll just run with it. You can see definitely the whole world here is mapped out, all the different countries. You can see the westernized countries, how dark red they are. Just the amount of protein. We need protein, obviously, but tell us about this topic. It's just so clear in the West, Canada, Western Europe, and Australia, how much protein is being consumed here. Tell us about this.
Well, I think it's interesting when we talk about protein consumption. My brain's going in a couple of different places. I love that you brought up the fish oil topic, because I was reading something about protein, and part of it is that we sit down, we go out throughout the day, and then we sit down to dinner in these more westernized countries, and dinner is like meat.
It's just, yes, absolutely.
Right?
It's the big thing of steak.
Yeah, it's just a huge thing. Whereas we should really be dispersing our protein,
100%.
throughout the day, because that's how we support our metabolism. That's how we support our body with those protein sources, right? We need our body breaks down those proteins into the amino acids, and we need all of that. However, it's funny that, because I was just thinking about this with the ISURA thing, I saw fish oil for sale at 7-Eleven, and I just about lost it. Like, talk about the most toxic thing. Like, I would rather somebody not take a fish oil than purchase that fish oil.
Absolutely agree.
But when we're talking about protein consumption, what happens is that we've got we need to talk about omegas then, and that will help with this protein discussion. So we know about omega-3s. I think that's the one thing that a lot of consumers are aware of, is our need to supplement with omega-3. We can actually manufacture all of the fats that we need in our own bodies just by ourselves, if our bodies are functioning appropriately, if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, except for omegas. That's why we refer to them as essential. So anytime you see the word essential with a supplement or a vitamin or a mineral or things like that, it means that we're not actually able to manufacture it ourselves in our body. It is essential for us to supplement with it. So we have omega-3s, but we also have 6, 9, 11, 13. There's probably ones that we aren't even aware of yet. There's all of these different types of omega-3s, or of omega fatty acids. Sorry. What we know is that meat, conventional meat, we should say, we're not talking about the amazing grass-fed, pasture-raised, hand-loved meat that's out there. We're talking about that huge steak that you're buying at Kroger. So what we see in that conventional meat is really, really high levels of omega-6s. Omega-6 is arachidonic acid. So it is an essential fatty acid. We do need it, but all of the omegas in our body need to be balanced, just like everything in life. That's what we should have entitled this podcast for the new year, is balance in 2023, right? What we know about omega-6 is that it's pro-inflammatory. And we can talk about that word inflammation in a lot of different fashions and forms. I don't think it's an evil word. It's when it's not in balance that it becomes a problem. So, but we do know that an excess amount of omega-6s becomes pro-inflammatory and it causes issues in the body. Well, a healthy ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s is about 1-to-1 or 1-to-4. But in our standard American diet, we're getting something like 1-to-20. And imagine if you're doing like the ketogenic diet or a high protein diet or something like that. It's even more so.
Carnivore diet.
So we're thinking that we're being healthy, but we're actually causing issues in our body. So this is where we can take an omega-6 or an omega-3 to balance out those omega-6s. And that's not even talking about the contaminants in meats, right? I think everybody needs to be picking up their meat and looking for nitrates and nitrites. And it used to be at my store, we had a Dollar Tree next door, and it was kind of like once a week somebody went there and bought the most ridiculous thing they could find, to like make fun of it, chuckle about it. And I found steak for $1 at the dollar store.
Come on.
It had 24 ingredients in it.
Steak? You can buy steak at the dollar? Okay.
It was not steak, right? It was labeled steak. It had a meat-like appearance.
That is weird.
But it had 24 ingredients and was being sold for $1. I think about people that are driving through McDonald's and they're like, woohoo, I get my Big Mac for 99 cents. What are you getting?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So very important is it always comes down to the amount. Like when you're doing carnivore or keto, we need some fat, we need some protein, but do we need this much for the day, right? And if you're listening to this on audio, I just, you can't even fit it in the screen how I spread my hands out. Like, do we need that amount per day, right? It comes down to the quantity and quality, but no one's really discussing those amounts, like those ratios you just mentioned. And we do have only about 4 minutes to go here, but this was a perfect first episode, Carrie, because we'll be doing another episode in about a month, 3 to 4 weeks from now, where we'll dive even into more products like RX Omega-3, the fermented greens we had on our radar, and even relief fiber. But I definitely wanted to start first with introducing yourself and Natural Factors as a company. What's on your radar here in about 3 minutes that we can touch on before we wrap it up as a good segue into the next episode?
Well, I think that, what we need to look at are some of just those basics that we're going to talk about, like getting a multivitamin, getting an omega-3, getting a probiotics. I don't think that vitamin D, even in Phoenix, y'all need vitamin D. So I think that there's a lot of things that we can talk about as far as looking at like the quality measures that you would want to see. So something like omega-3s, yeah, please don't buy it at 7-Eleven. It's probably full of mercury and radiation and other toxins and things like that. So coming into Healthy Habit where you know what you're going to find on the shelf has been vetted and is quality. And it's also, you're going to find pricing that is really, really lovely. So let's step back for 2023 and let's look at balance. Let's look at balance.
And I have two more questions to wrap up. The last one will be contact information, how people can learn more, find out more, and actually buy products. Since the Healthy Habit health food store is fully in physical location, we don't have the products online. So you guys can go to the website there at naturalfactors.com, where you can order anything we're discussing here today with Carrie at naturalfactors.com.
Sign up for our newsletter too.
Okay. At naturalfactors.com?
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. Make sure you sign up for that, folks. How often does that go out, Carrie? The newsletter?
I don't know that.
Okay. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Just sign up. That's step one.
Just sign up.
And let me finish off here the last minute. What keeps you going here with health? What keeps you motivated and wanting to stick with Natural Factors and come on our shows here and educate us? What's inspiring you to keep going here?
I think that a lot of people in our industry, I speak of us as practitioners. We came to this journey from some sort of health crisis. And that was my journey, was being really, really ill and finding a naturopath who took the time to figure out what was wrong with me and help me. And it just kind of set the stage for this river. And I don't know. I don't know how I got here, but I'm happy to be here. And the reason I stick with Natural Factors, and I will be for this is my home, is the integrity. And, like we're talking about that, like who owns who. I love knowing that I have Roland as our captain, and his love and passion and deep, abundant caring for people shines through in everything. And I can speak about all of our products with integrity, and that is everything for me, is to live a life of integrity.
That's one thing that really makes your company stand out, is how transparent you guys are, right?
Absolutely. We win awards for that. Yep.
Amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And again, I'm glad you mentioned the ISURA at the beginning, the ISURA, ISURA certification. Not many companies have that certification, so that's saying a lot, right?
Exactly.
We'll end it there, Carrie. How should people contact anyone?
I think the website is really great. Just go there. There's some blogs and things that we're working on. I will be starting to do Instagram stories, so on the social media and all of that. So you're perfect for it. Seriously, you're gonna help a lot of people. We're gonna have fun.
I'm making Carrie blush.
It.
I'm making Carrie blush here.
Easy to do as a redhead.
We'll end it there on today's episode. That was Carrie G. Pattison, representing Natural Factors. Stay tuned. This was the first of our series with Carrie here for 2023. We'll be talking to her at least once a month. Thank you for your time, Carrie.
See you next time, everybody.